Hey, how's it going, guys? If you're new here, my name's Sean. I'm a full-time clothing eBay reseller, and I go live on Sundays talking about my sales. We have 40 sales for $1,199, and most of them came from this one item here. It's a camera. I found this camera in my local thrift store. I'll talk to you guys more about that later. And yeah, the topic is like, am I missing out on like huge bolos? And the answer is probably, yeah, most likely. But yeah, there's a lot of ups and downs to that, and I'm going to explain to you guys like my thought process behind why I don't always go for like the high-end electronics and what I'm trying to build with this business, because I think it's a little different than what a lot of you, the resellers you see on YouTube, are doing. So audio check, the higher standard, yo. Is everything good? Is the mic good? I cranked the mic all the way up. So I noticed when I was editing some videos, I kept having to pump up the volume on the time bar for editing, but I think it's because my mic was set to like 75% and not like 100%. So yeah, I think we're pretty good. I'm excited, guys. I don't know how you guys feel, but my wife and I went out of town yesterday. We did a day trip with Seth, and he did pretty good. We went to one of those interactive aquariums where you can like feed the fish. And yeah, Seth, you know, he's actually 9 months. He was 9 months yesterday, so he didn't really feed the fish, but I'll tell you what happened. We got into the aquarium, and it's like a big circle pretty much. And right when we got there, there's these big giant fish, like almost like you would see in a fish tank, like just a basic looking kind of oval fish, but it was huge, fat. And you could feed them, and these kids were feeding them, like they're like 8 or 10-year-olds, they were feeding them, and the fish were fighting each other to try to like eat it. Well, they were still kind of aggressive when the kids walked off, and I had the stroller there, and we were going to do like a picture. Right whenever we went to do the picture, this is literally like right when we walk in, the fish jump out of the water but like stay in the tank, and they splash like a half gallon to a gallon of water all over my son and the stroller. And this is those tanks where it's like green and dark, and we were kind of panicking like slightly. So and of course the bathrooms don't have changing stations, so we just went to this picnic table area like in the little aquarium place and like kind of stripped them down and like baby wiped them all, because that water's got to be nasty. So there is a chance my son may turn into some type of fish superhero, kind of like the Spider-Man thing where you get bit. Like there is a chance he got some in his mouth that he may, I don't know, he may turn into a superhero. So that was crazy. And, you know, it was cool. It was like $25 a piece for my wife and I. And then, of course, he was free. So pretty cool, though. Pretty cool. Yeah, sounds good. Awesome, man. Quality's great. Yeah, dude, I got the window right in front of me. The blinds are slightly cracked. So we got 10 people, two likes. So yeah, that's pretty good. I'm going to just pack a few of these items. Trust me, there's a few items that are just kind of meh, if that's the word people are using. But yeah, I had a giant sale with this camera. It's this Nikon Coolpix camera. And I actually found it in a Sony bag, and there were two cameras. There was a CyberShot, a little bit older one, and then there was this Nikon. And the CyberShot sold for like 70 or 80 bucks. And then this Nikon sold for 200 plus shipping. So that's why I titled the video like, am I missing out on bolos? You know, and yeah, I think so. But I think what a lot of that has to do with is, am I spending my time looking for those? And also like, am I trying to build like that type of business? And the answer is no. Like obviously I want to make money, but I'm not looking for electronics or video game systems or VCRs or, bread maker parts or vacuum parts. Like I'm just not doing that, because I'm trying to build a business where I can just pass it off to an employee and they pretty much run the entire business. Now, I suppose you could have employees list cameras and pots and pans and all that, vacuum parts and video games, but I can tell you from the short experience I've had with an employee the past few months, I think Randy's been with me since late February, early March. She's like getting really good at doing the shipping, the photographs. Now I don't have her list because I'm so much faster, and that's kind of like, you know, if somebody lists for you while you're training, you got to go back and check the prices, and that is pretty important with the tight margins I run to make sure that you're getting everything done. So like me having to go back when she was listing kind of seemed like a time suck, but now we're way ahead on photos and I'm actually behind on like cranking out listings. So I need to spend some time to get caught up, but that also buys me some like time off essentially, because I have such a draft of like items that like can be listed because they're already photographed. Now, the way I see it is this business, when you get to like 30 listings as a solo person, it kind of maxes out on the amount of time it takes to source 210 items a week, unless you had like a great source where you didn't have to spend that much time doing it. And then also photos, listings, prepping, storage, shipping, like all that 30 items a day, 210 a week. That's kind of like the max, I think. I mean, there's definitely people that are a lot faster and can do more and they work like longer hours. But I mean like kind of like a comfortable pace working. So my goal is to pretty much have an employee do all that work, pay her a salary, for the year, and then make, I don't know, like obviously less than what she makes for that part of the business. But then while I don't have any time invested in the business other than, let's say, sourcing, and I'm not necessarily talking about like traveling and doing the sourcing route that I'm doing. I'm saying like having a different source come in where I don't have to do that, which I may have found a similar one that might work. But then I have like another business running that I'm making like more money, So that's kind of how I think it can work. And that's kind of what I'm trying to build, because honestly, I'm not too thrilled about like sourcing photos, listing, eBay for the next, like, I don't know, however many years. I'd much rather do content, and then there's some other businesses that I'm working on. And when you get better at the content, it seems like more opportunities kind of open up, and I'm starting to see a lot more of that. So let's see. The Higher Standard says, kids are resilient. They can handle a ton. Yeah, no doubt. My son is a warrior, dude. Now he's starting to like pull up on things. He has no fear at all. That water was gross, dude. And I was like holding him. I like to fly him around. I was like hovering him over, and I had like this thought of, if he slipped or jerked out of my hands into like a pool of like, 100 fish, like that'd be crazy. I'd start punching fish to like save my son's life. But yeah, so here's a dry fit polo. These Nike dry fit polos, I think a lot of people that are buying these are car salesmen or like door-to-door salesmen. It's sold for like 19 shipped. So I'm not spending but, like $3 on these for 19 shipped. It's kind of where I like to live on this. But they sell all the time. Lisa and friends, hi Sean, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you. I'm glad you guys, I always think there's two people when it's Lisa and friends. So I'm glad you guys can make it in. But if it's just you, Lisa, I'm glad you're here too. Beatrice, happy afternoon, and good to see you too. You're always in the lives. And I almost forgot, we got our little Diet Dr. Pepper. I've kind of cut the energy drinks out except for my long sourcing day, because I feel like I need that kick to stay motivated. And I'm trying not to drink them during the weeks and the weekends, because I was drinking a lot of them, and I'm not eating any candy like I was. I was eating a lot of candy. So we are going with the Diet Dr. Pepper. There's a little bit of caffeine in here, 41 milligrams, and I usually do a coffee in the morning. So I like the bubbly. So the CrossFit games were going on the past weekend, and I don't know if you guys are CrossFitters. I don't go to a box gym or anything, but I did spend a period of time where I did a lot of CrossFit type workouts, and it always gets me motivated, like how fit those people are and like how perfect their physique is, and it's really frustrating. But they live a pretty Spartan existence where they're eating healthy, they're working out anywhere from 4 to 8 hours a day probably, and I cannot replicate that, but I do want to try. I love doing pull-ups. I love doing, not kipping pull-ups. Now, don't get me wrong. Kipping pull-ups is like a gymnastics maneuver, and I think it's ridiculous. I can't believe they actually do that. But I do love pull-ups. I like hitting the weights when I can. So I'm really trying to get back into peak form, because when my son goes to school and when he starts going to sports, I want to be more of the fit dad instead of the guy that just kind of has the beer gut and stuff. So we're working on that. Nerds, reselling and picking. Ayo, must be Sunday. Got Taylor in my ear while I do my Sunday's chores. Heck yeah, rock and roll, man. So I think that's cool. I actually found a podcast recently, and I can't remember the name, or I would share it. It's these two women, and they were from Trash to Cash's group and stuff. I can't remember what it's called. I should pull it up. Well, see, that's the thing. My phone is the camera, so I can't pull it up. But anyway, they are... it's just nice to hear people talk about reselling. They're not necessarily at the same size of store as me, but it's just nice to hear people talk about reselling. And I think I will give them a little shout out, because they have got me through a little bit of the driving yesterday whenever I was doing my thing, going to the aquarium and stuff. Because, yeah, everything cool is 2 hours away from us. So that is. Okay, it's called Flippin' Fantastic. It's these two gals talking reselling. They got some purple on their little video, like most of the thumbnails. They're early ones at least. So, yeah, they're pretty cool. I don't really know them, but I do like listening to reselling stuff. And long form is good when you're doing a lot of photos or listing or sourcing or driving like I do. Now, I had a couple interesting buys. Like, if you guys know, I have my buy-sell trade store, and I put quotations because it's an office building in a 12-story building on the first floor with its own exterior door. So it's kind of like a storefront right on the sidewalk of a pretty busy street, but it's not a lot of foot traffic. It's a lot of businesses downtown. However, people will bring their stuff to me. So this woman, she had access to a bunch of vintage stuff from a thrift store that closed down 15 years ago. And I bought a select 13 pieces, and the rest was going to a vintage guy in the town. So I was glad that he got the rest. And I honestly don't know the value of a lot of that stuff. Reselling vintage online can be tough when it's like just a crazy graphic tee of like, one was University of Las Vegas, like collegiate basketball team. But it was like their, I think, Division II basketball team. So it's hard to put a value on that, but I have a friend in the Dallas area that has a vintage booth set up, and he was able to buy that from me. So when I went on vacation to the aquarium, the day trip to the aquarium, my wife and I and son, we met with him, and I gave him the clothes and pretty much paid for the aquarium stuff. So that was pretty cool. Oh no, your Mac will go to sleep unless it's plugged in. Oh no! Hang on a second. I don't know where the thing went. Let me find the cord for the Mac. Let's see. All right. Dang. I would hate for that to happen. I got this mag strip one for the Mac, and yeah, it plugs in here, and I actually need to plug my phone in too, which I hope that doesn't mess anything up. But my phone will get drained pretty good from doing these live, so just bear with this. Okay. All right, good. Whew. Whoa. That would have been a disaster. So yeah, anyway, what I'm saying is the buyouts from the store, like saying you're a buy-sell trade store, even if you're not a store, like huge, retail store, but having a location in an office where somebody can come in and like talk to you, that gives you a bit of authority rather than being on Facebook Marketplace and saying like, we buy clothes, meet at the local Walmart, I will stab you. So like people get a better vibe when you say like you're a store in town, and it is. It's our base of operations, and it's cheap, so I may keep that spot forever. Honestly, I really like it a lot. This is Lucky Brand Henley short sleeve, so paying like $2 on these short sleeve shirts, and this one didn't sell for much. It was 14 shipped, but Lucky Brand Henleys, the Venice Burnouts are my favorites. They do pretty well, but yeah, this one did okay. It's just like the very lowest I'd like to sell. And yeah, if you guys notice, we got the Royal Blues. So Gyro Pack is my shipping sponsor / best friends. Now, they're one of the first sponsors to actually like do a deal with me, and people are liking the bags. They're saying they're getting them. They're working, and they're cheap too. That's the thing. They're like more affordable than most of them out there, and they're cooler looking because of the color. So pretty cool. Samantha says, happy Sunday. Hello, Samantha. Happy Sunday to you. Glad to have you in. It's always nice seeing the regulars, And I don't know if you guys are regulars at like a bar or a restaurant or something, but there is something nice about going in and people kind of knowing what to expect, and like they're happy to see you. And it's like a comfortable thing because like that podcast I was watching, the Flippin' Fantastics, they're like, yeah, you work alone and you don't have that like interaction with other people, that water cooler type stuff. So like the once a week live here, and then the ones I run during the week occasionally if I'm really needing the charge from you guys. That's a really cool thing, and I'm glad to provide it, man. I'm here for it. I am here for it. If you guys, I am like, the day I'll stop doing the lives is the day that no one shows up. So I mean, if that day comes, I'd probably still run the live anyway and just think there was something like insane going on that no one like could connect or log in. But yeah, so here's one of those Magellan Outdoors. Now Magellan, I know they're kind of like low key the great value brand of Columbia PFGs, but this one sold for 19 shipped. And the thing about it is, if the size is like 2XL or bigger, it has a chance to sell. And if you're paying $3 on 19, it's okay. It's not too bad. Let's see. Cheese I always want to say cheeseburgers, man, but it's Chaburb's Geezer. Chaburb's Geezer? Yes, you are, but with your business model, you need to just snag them when you see them, icing on the cake. And he's talking about the Nikon camera that I put in the thumbnail. Yeah, so it was a Sony like camera bag, and it had a pretty fair price on it. I actually think they mispriced it at $199. I think it was supposed to be like 10 or something, or even $19.99. And there was 2 cameras inside it. So the other thing though about that is they just rolled the cart out. Now, the thrift stores I go to, they don't really roll carts out and leave it like some of the Goodwills and stuff. But the one in my hometown, they had a little like bat buggy, and it was during the day where a lot of people weren't shopping. And yeah, I went over there and looked because I was like, well, dude, it's a new cart. But if I were just to go like to the racks, like you're probably not going to find a lot of those cameras unless you're the first person in the store to see the merchandise. But you know, there are people that are crushing the game in my area as well. So I got very lucky with that, but it's just not something I can rely on. And honestly, I tested it some. It may come back. Somebody may return it. It's possible that happens. I remember when I was an everything seller, I would get like $200 returns, and I would just be crushed. Like literally put my mood down for a whole like day or a few hours, you know. And yeah, but it'll be nice. My area has great clothes, but horrible electronics coming from the higher standard. Yeah, and you know, it's also we're not in like a expensive area, so a lot of people don't have that type of stuff. Like the people who spend money on like guns in my area, they spend money on like, you know, I don't know, outdoor stuff or boats. I don't know how many like true photographers there are in this area because there's nothing to take photos of really. I mean, there's a lot of flat land. Nerds Reselling says, the story about your kid's superhero origin story will be with you forever. Frustrating in the moment, but you'll never forget. Yeah, I guess that's true. He had a little bout of pink eye, so like he was just getting out of that, and I just hope he doesn't get some other like sickness from that. Here's some Silver Tab jeans. I cheap sold these a lot because they had a pretty big hole in the back. But this is the little logo. And yeah, they went for like 24 shipped, which I know it's low, but if you look at the label, like 125 or 12,551, we're at like 18,000 right now for shipping labels. I mean inventory labels. So yeah, it's kind of one of those things that if it like, okay, so whenever I'm shipping items, I have it where I can see obviously the label where I'm pulling, but then I see the price, and based on how the prices are for what's selling and the time it's been listed based on the inventory SKU, that's kind of what determines my next like round of sourcing. You know, like if I start noticing a pattern of, dang, these I don't know what's a good example, like Nike golf shirts, like okay, they used to be like $25, now they're closer to 20. Okay, now they're getting to like 15, then it's like, all right, let's hold off on buying those and start reassessing like what you're doing, like maybe just buy the bigger sizes and not more of the larges and stuff. So that's kind of how I go about it. But yeah, these had damage to the point where like it just didn't sell for as much, but still a sale. He still sold, still made some money. PMP with Schwan says, what is your 90 days number? I'm at 58,000 for 90 days. And that's not the one on the phone, that's the computer. The one on the phone says like 62,000, I think. But I don't think they account for returns in 90 days or something. Like the phone app's a little off, so you always want to go by the computer. But yeah, we're at 58,000. We're having some like really like a strong run. I think it was like 10 or 12 days over the average that I'm used to getting for sales, and then we hit a couple like right below average, like $482. That's a little low, and $462 I think for one day, but the rest have been 500 plus, and then we had like a few like, you know, $800 plus days, so that was cool. Chaburgeezer, I can't say your name, dude. I don't know. I thought it was cheeseburgers for the longest time. Having done a retail business for a long time, fair warning on putting your eggs in one basket with employees. Rug can get pulled out from under you at any moment. Yeah. So Randy, she just got an apartment lease, but she had mentioned that her boyfriend was offered a job outside of town, and there's a chance like had they maybe been together longer or she didn't sign that lease, she might have left. So that is true. The other thing though is like I'm so much stronger as an employer after having her. So like when it comes to hiring the next person, I have a much stronger like awareness of what to look for and what I know is going to work for that type of model, because I trust her to. I mean, she can ship on her own. I don't have to be here for that. She can go down to the store. I trust her with my inventory and all that. So, but she's she's more my age rather than like a much younger person. So that is another thing that I think is important. All right, here is a Ralph Lauren. But yeah, that's a good point, man. I mean, I'm gonna be like hurt. Like, I mean, I'll be really sad whenever Randy leaves. So unless I can make her an offer, but if her boyfriend or future husband or whatever ends up making a lot of money or wants to move, she's gonna stay with him. I don't know if a job's gonna keep her here, So I can't offer her the best stuff, but like we'll see, man. And honestly, I think for my business, like if I can't find that one golden person that's going to just run my business, but I mean, it's possible. You definitely could. Then I think I'll just have like a flow of photographers, maybe find somebody that can list. But photography is one of the most important things, as well as prepping, like pulling the tags off, separating the items that really need to be washed, that type of stuff. That's an important task that a lot of people can handle, though. It's not something that takes a high-level person. So the thing is, I got lucky because Randy is high level, so it's nice to add more tasks to her because she can handle it, and I try to treat her as good as I can. So here is the LL Bean, and I call it's like that thicker cotton stuff. It looks like fleece. It's called like, I always call it Chameos. I know it's not Chameos, but it's something like that, man. I can't pronounce it though. Chameos. It's CHAMOIS. So whatever you guys think that's called, that's what it is. Lisa says, laugh loud. Thanks. Just me and a few cats today. Catching up on desk work. Yes, it's Taylor Sundays. Wow. All right. I kind of like the ring of that. Taylor Sundays. Sundays with Taylor. Yeah. That's I don't know. And like I said, like football season's starting. The Bears had their preseason game yesterday, which yes, I missed it. I had to watch all the commentating, the replays, the guys that what is it called? The Tape Never Lies. Those are the guys I watched for Chicago Bears like news. And yeah, I missed it. I honestly would have put the aquarium off, but I think the aquarium might have been closed on Sunday, or something was closed on Sunday. I don't know. So we went on Saturday, but yeah, I missed it. They won, and they had 9 sacks, which is incredible, man. We're going to put the league on fire this year. I really can't wait. So we're going to have to figure out, and I still need to put the poll out there, should I run the lives on Saturday or should I run them Sunday night? And it might be Sunday night, maybe, but there's going to be some days where, like, the times may not be 100% consistent, but I'll try to figure something out that works with my schedule. And if it works with you guys, or maybe you'll have to watch the replays and stuff. Ping says, good morning. Good morning. It's good afternoon for me. How's it going for you? Michelle says, on the back of a motorcycle right now. Holy cow, man. Can't talk, but hey. Yeah, well, okay. All right. Be careful. Let's just throw that out there. I feel like I get fed these motorcycle wreck videos where people are kind of popping wheelies and being a little crazy, and they get in wrecks, and it's terrifying to me. I've rode like dirt bikes before, and they're extremely scary, even the small ones. And my dad has a Harley. I rode on the back of it once, and I felt too I was like, yeah, there's a reason they call it a certain seat, and I didn't want to be on it no more. But it's cool, man. It's a lot of power. Man, I really like Cokes with like pizza. I feel like that's a good combo, like wings, pizza, and Coke. Like some people like beer, but I don't like beer with food. I feel like beer is kind of food in a way. So like I'm not big on that, but the Diet Dr. Pepper doesn't taste that good without like Coke or like a pizza or something. PMP says XL Snap Magellan is dope. Yeah, I found a few of them. I don't know if dope's the appropriate word. I mean, they're okay. They're not like Filson or nothing, but I mean they're okay. Dope. Yeah. I mean, they're good. They sell. I mean, I like things that sell, dude. You know, like whether it's $5 profit or like this camera is like, I actually paid $1 for the camera, or like $150 profit. As long as it sells, you know, it sells, and I'm good with that. Mo Better says hello, good afternoon. Well, good afternoon to you. Happy to have you in, man, or ma'am. We're just shipping. We're gonna talk about whatever, man. Kind of whatever comes to mind. Whatever you guys want to talk about. I'm here for it. I'm trying to get some work done. I've definitely got, there's some chores that are a little backed up. I need to work out today still, so I think I'm going to do the chest day. And I like recording myself and putting some of it on Instagram because when you have a camera on you, you try to do well. You're not going to slack. And one thing I want to get back into is doing like 100 burpees in a row. That's like it's almost like a punishment exercise, but 100 burpees in a row will burn like a ton of calories, probably just as much as running like a mile or two. So that's something I want to get into too. Excuse me. Here's a Duluth Henley that did not do too well. I don't know if it's because of summer or if Duluth Henley is just not that great, but I don't know if I'm going to be picking them up much anymore. Yeah. Also, I have some exciting news I want to like kind of tease you with. I got a box, a couple mystery boxes from a company. It's a thrift store chain. They sent it to me to do a video about it. So that video is going to be launched tomorrow. I finished it last night. And one, I think the thumbnail is one of my best thumbnails. And two, you guys will get to watch. And then if like, make sure to watch it because there's a chance you could win the mystery box. So I'm going to be giving those away. And that video is going to come out tomorrow with like the instructions and stuff. And it's not a long video. It's like 8 minutes. So make sure to watch it all the way through and like it and just kind of pay attention to the stuff you got to do to enter to win. And then next Sunday, we're going to give away the mystery box. So I think it's good. I think it's a good thing to give away, give back to the audience because I think it's important to like, you know, you guys watching, and I know a lot of you guys watch just because it's something to listen to while you're working. I mean, I'm the same way. But it does help me with like, you know, income for the family and then also my motivation to like keep doing this type of stuff because like 53 people and 17 likes, like that's a really cool thing that, you know, YouTube provides that. And then like being in a community and then like giving back, making sure that people that appreciate you, like you appreciate them. So it's like a two-way street there. And I'll get Blood, Sweat, and Cell. This is a $2 super chat saying, hope all is well. Blood, Sweat, and Cell, I believe you are the tool seller that I saw on the Flippin' Guys. The Flippin' Guys. Philly Flipper, his interview. If you guys know, Philly Flipper has a podcast that does an interview. And Blood, Sweat, and Swell is a swell. Why do I keep saying swell? It's because of the W. Blood, Sweat, and Cell. What about just like blood swell? No, blood cell. Blood, sweat, and cell, blood swell. That could work too. Anyway, he sells tools and he niches like I do. And the thing about that is he worked in construction and like unionized construction, meaning like definitely higher level construction. Not like some of the crews I worked with where it's like some of the guys were bums they picked up for the day and then they like crushed them at digging a pit and then like got rid of those guys. Like he definitely was in a different echelon of the construction world, and I think it's important to understand that when you complain, and people like complain about some of their jobs, like if you haven't worked like very difficult jobs, just be aware that there's people out there like really getting after it and risking a lot to build up our country, and I can appreciate that, man. Yeah, Leroy. Okay, so that's Leroy. Yeah, I really appreciate it, man. $2 is awesome. Well, nowadays I can buy you like one thing, but it's still very, very cool to get super chats, man. But yeah, back to this Henley, dude. It's just, I don't know if I'm going with Henleys, but I'm telling you, when winter comes around, like the LL Bean, the Eddie Bauers, like those Henleys, I usually have people buy multiple because they want to get their camping gear in order or like their hiking stuff, and they'll buy like 3 and 4 of the same size. So it is good to go kind of deep on them. You just kind of be careful. Like this Duluth one, I don't know, it just didn't do too well. And it was an XLT at that. It made some money. I mean, it didn't lose money. It did make money, but yeah. Just toss that to the side. man, I'm telling you, I'm really stoked about people in my town kind of being aware of like, oh, he buys men's clothes. So like instead of them going to the thrift store to just donate, like a lot of them are calling for appointments. And I have one of the sales in here today. We'll get to it towards the end, but it was like a $47 Polo Ralph Lauren cardigan, the white with the big pony, and it was vintage. And a guy, I think, I paid him like $5 for it, and it sold for $47 plus the $9 shipping. So that was like, I mean, those types of deals, it's so nice to get. It's like being the first one to a yard sale where you get like the best stuff, the pick of the litter, let's call it, the cream of the crop, the creme de la creme. All right, so Jake, cheese geezers, Jake. All right, man, I'll remember that. Oh yeah, Yosef says, my man. What's up, dude? Every time I hear someone say my man, I think of Denzel. And he's like, my man. He says, so will you do more videos on your thrift store trip? Yeah, I was actually talking to my wife today about my plans for the week. I try to tell her when I'm going to go to like my out-of-town trips because I do want to do a Saturday one. I found a pretty good source for my vintage friend, and I'm going to check that out next Saturday. But I am going to do the Oklahoma City trip. So that's going to be like my experimental thing where I'm going to go deeper into the northern sister state or cousin. Sorry, Okies. But we're going to go a little further into the state and see what we can find. I'm going to film that day too. So that video will be out later this week, or Tim says, I heard you charge $8.99 for shipping on everything. Do you ever get pushback from customers on that? I went up to $7.95 and get loads of comments about it. Absolutely, Tim. People don't like it. But I always tell them, it's hold on a second. It's a little trolly, but I say maybe this shirt's not the one for you, because think about it, like $7.99 shipping. This Ralph Lauren sold for $7.50 plus shipping, so that's $7.50 plus $9. I mean, that's $16.50, right? So if they're mad that they're like, oh, it only costs like $5 to ship, but like, are they gonna find another Ralph Lauren like this for I don't know, like what would it be, 11 plus 5 shipping? Like, no, those people that have 5 shipping usually price things at 15 to get 20. So like, I gave him the deal, he pays the shipping, and then I keep the rest. If he doesn't like it, like, I don't know, just go shop somewhere else. There's plenty of people that are gonna buy that shirt, and probably pay more money for it. So it's honestly, it's protection against returns. When people, if he says this shirt doesn't return because of fit, I don't give him the full return money. I give him the purchase price and not the shipping. And that's what I learned from Chris Taylor Finance. It's a little sneaky, but whatever, man. I mean, it's just part of it. That's how I'm running it. But yeah, my lowest stars, you know how you have the star ratings for things? The lowest one is shipping costs. That's like, it's still like a high rating, but the lowest amount of feedback is on shipping. But yeah. PMP says, look at your viewer analytics. You should show when you get the most views. You're talking about when to do my live shows, I think, PMP. The thing about that is most of the time whenever I go live, YouTube will show, well, you got the most views like on Sunday afternoons, but that's because I was live. And then like when you post dictates a lot when the views come. So one thing I've noticed is that I try not to post videos during the primetime hours, like 5 p.m. to like, 8 p.m. because a lot of the big channels, not just in the reselling space, but like YouTubers in general, they put their videos out during primetime hours because that's when people are watching a lot of content. And I've noticed my views don't get as much. And if any reseller out there is making YouTube videos, don't post on Tuesday afternoons because most people are watching the Nurse Flippers live. There's like 400 to 1,000 people in there. So that's just a little thing. I mean, honestly, PMP, it comes down to when it's good for my wife and son and like the schedule that I got going on. That's when I'm going to be able to determine it. I just want to like kind of give the viewers a heads up, like, hey, we might not be going Sunday afternoons once the Bears start playing because I'm going to be watching all those games. But yeah, YouTube's got a lot of analytics though. It's definitely a good thing. I just, I kind of just do my best with it. I'm not that great at YouTube. Josh asked, what do you think about Affliction t-shirts? Do they still sell at a pretty good and high price for you? High price is relative because a lot of my stuff is considered low price, but yeah, Affliction is really good. There's still a lot of guys that wear that stuff. Yeah, if you're talking about the t-shirts with like the crosses and stuff like that. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think you can get like, 25, maybe more, depending on the size. I think the size is a big deal. Ah, Pink says, I believe Chamios is pronounced Shammy. Shammy, yeah, that CH could be an S sound. Yeah, that's probably right. Thank you. Hippie spinach. Dude, hippie spinach? What are your Goodwill prices for men's shirts like in your area? Around here, they're nothing under $9.98. Southern Oregon, by the way. Yeah, that's kind of the trend, right? So mine used to be the best in the country, I think. It used to be, and we have one Goodwill in my town. It's 100,000 people. It's a hub city, but it's still in kind of the middle of like nowhere area. 2 hours from Dallas, but it used to be $3.99. They are now $5.99 for shirts. So like a lot of these Nike golf shirts, not buying that at $6.50 because after tax, you know. So that is it's happening all across. So you got to find where the cheaper clothes are. People talk about the bins, discount days, stores that have half off days and things like that. That's kind of where you're going to find more of the stuff. When I go to Dallas and stuff, the Goodwills are all $8.99 for shirts. So that's not where I source in Dallas. So I try not to go there. They're fun to go to because, you know, Goodwill, they do, you know, some of the stores I go to don't have the best air conditioning. Sometimes they have no air conditioning. Sometimes it's good to just be in like a nice store that puts money into their store, but Goodwill needs to put money into their computer systems. I swear. There's so many problems with Goodwill's computer systems, and it's like, dude, just like my phone's more powerful than their computers, and they got to run like the whole POS stuff. Excuse me. Here's a pair of a pair of American Eagle jeans. So I think I picked these up for like $5 at a yard sale, and they sold for, what is this, $15.43 plus shipping. So like $24, $24.50 on the American Eagle jeans, and that's pretty good for American Eagle jeans. They're men's jeans, not women's, men's. But yeah, I liked selling jeans and stuff, but they take up more space than the shirts. So let's see, print the label. We got Nerds Reselling says, I just learned about reverse pull-ups. Didn't realize they help with doing more regular pull-ups. Yeah, I think like holding your weight in general. There is another thing that I like about pull-ups, and I'm kind of keeping in the back of my head when I'm doing them, is, well, for one, like just hanging and letting your spine and like everything kind of stretch like that, that's really good for your body. I mean, it's extremely good if you've never done it. The problem is if you're not strong enough, you can't do it at all. And if you don't have the assisted stuff, then you can't do it. But I kind of want to train for those things where it says, can you hold on for 100 seconds for $100? I want to be able to do that. And I'm telling you, 100 seconds is over a minute and a half holding. It's hard. It's hard on your grip. But I want to do that so that when I come into one of those, like in the next decade, like I will win that $100 and impress everybody. So, and I've done it one time at the Marine pull-up stuff. Whenever they go to like events and they say do 20 pull-ups and you get a free shirt, like I've done that before and got the shirt, and everyone was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like I was just like, "Yes." I weigh 155 pounds at the time. Now I'm heavier. I don't weigh that. I weigh like 165, 170. But no, I love pull-ups, man. It's the best back workout there is, I think. Yosef says, let's say you didn't have physical stores, just eBay. Would you still be able to go full-time as your only income? Yeah, dude, I was doing that. The store is only good for getting people to sell me stuff, which has happened probably like 10 times or a dozen times in the last 2.5 months. But yeah, no, I was full-time without the store, man. Yeah, absolutely. What do you think about free shipping versus seller pay shipping? That's a good question. Here's a Brooks Brothers button up. So I used to do free shipping. Or wait a second. Is this right? No. Somebody paid for an item after we started the live, so I don't have it with me. It's in storage. Yeah, I used to do free shipping. And the thing about free shipping is you get the little green thing if you have fast and free shipping, which is like, you know, draws attention. And I think you get a little bit of a bump if you have free shipping. The problem is returns. If somebody returns an item with $20 free shipping, you got to give them all the $20. If you do $10 shipping with a $10 buy cost, you only have to give them $10 back. Unless it's like an iNet, then you have to give them the whole thing. So that's why you should do shipping. And a lot of people understand when they're buying online that they need to pay shipping. It's like, it's not too surprising for them to have to pay shipping. But as long as the total price is fair for the item, I don't think many buyers care what the shipping is. They're just like, oh, well, I only had to pay $19 or $25. Like, I'm okay doing that. It gets a little tricky with bulk orders and stuff because you wouldn't want to charge. Like, I don't charge $8.99 shipping when someone buys 2 items. I charge $8.99, and then the second item is only $2.99 shipping. And they're like, oh, can you combine it? Can you combine it? And I say, yeah, I have a reduced shipping discount. Not combined, it's reduced. Because I don't want people thinking they only have to pay the one $8.99. So that ends up really paying off when people order like 7, 8, 12, 13, 15 shirts. So can you talk about niche shirt selling versus everything selling? Yeah. Mo Better is asking about the difference. And I guess I can just talk about it. So I was an everything seller when I started, and I had much higher margins. I mean, you're talking like 50, 60, 70% margins. And Jesus, it's like a little piece of adhesive was like sticking on, keeping that thing on. So when I was an everything seller, I made good money. I worked full time. I would do the yard sales on Saturday mornings, and I went to the thrift store every day after work from 5 to 7. One's closed at 6 and one closed at 7. I did that every single day for years, or a couple years. And I had good margins, right? But then there were days where it's like I would sell a camera, like a video game system, and like, I don't know, like a tool or something. And then all of a sudden I'd have like a bunch of money in sales, and then the other day I'd have like $100 in sales. And I'm like, well, what happened? Oh, I didn't have any big sales today. I just had like $30 sales. Then when you start getting into like 500 items, 1,000 items, like 1,500 items, it's hard to store all that stuff, because then you're like, oh, these bread makers aren't selling like they used to, or oh, this vacuum got returned. Now what do I do with this big vacuum box? And it gets very difficult. So like that, everything selling, I think you can make 10,000, 20,000 profit, 30, 40, maybe 50. Some people I see are making that much money working like not that many hours. But it's tough because things start getting out of whack. Like you start slipping on cleaning, or you got a pile of stuff you don't even want to list, or like, oh, I got to research for 30 minutes to figure out the exact value of this. Like when you get into niche selling, is like Leroy, if he's still in here, can talk about with the tools, is I know exactly how much this is going to sell for, and I know exactly how much it's going to ship for. I know exactly how long it's going to stay in the store. I know what I would have to lower it to get it out of the store. I know everything about the items. I know exactly where they go. I know the flow of like, retailers make the clothes, right? They make brand new clothes, and then people buy the clothes. So the best way to get the clothes at like the highest value is straight donations from somebody. That's the best value you can get, unless you got a direct supply from a supplier that's brand new, but that's kind of hard to accomplish. And then it's like from there, it's like, okay, maybe they donate it to Goodwill, so you buy it off the racks, or okay, Goodwill didn't sell it, so they take it to the bins. Okay, the bins didn't sell it, they take it to the rag house. The rag house didn't sell it. Where does it go after the rag house? We don't really know. But there's people that buy from the rag house, that buy from the bins that you can buy from. And it's like, well, do I know the whole, where all the sunglasses come from? Like, I mean, you can figure it out for sure, but it takes time to understand it. So like, yeah, you can hit cameras like this Nikon for, $200, but I can tell you, if I would have looked for cameras at that one thrift store all year, like I did clothes, spend like the amount of hours I did, I'd probably come away with like 20, 30, 50 cameras. But is 20, 30, 50 times 200, is that worth like the thousands of items I find that sell for 20? And the additional benefits of credit card points and building something that you can pass off, like, I don't know. And I don't, returns don't hurt with clothes. I get them all the time, and it's not that big a deal because it's not that much money. So that's about everything I want to say about it right now. But yeah, it's one of those things. I do think they're both profitable for sure. I think everything selling is much easier to profit early on. Like when I went from everything selling to clothes, I like had kind of a shift where I was spending a lot more on clothes, getting a lot of my store built up. The sales weren't coming in because it takes longer. But after you do that for a year, the stuff that has a sell-through rate of like 6 months, they sell. And then a year, they sell after that next year. So like the more consistent you are in the same stuff, like it'll sell from the previous 6 months or a year. And yeah, you'll have like a constant stream of like predictable income is what I'm trying to get at. Like last year is very predictable to this year, and everything's kind of the same. So, and I also think it's much easier to pass off to an employee, like we were talking about earlier. I think it's much easier to say, hey, I need you to photograph like 100 shirts. It's all the same order of photos, rather than saying I want you to photograph like 20 unique items that like, oh, and you might have to clean this, or you might have to do this photo, or what if they miss a photo of like a model number? Like you can't really even list stuff without that, because that's like a critical photo. But they're like, oh, I didn't realize that. Like okay, Lululemon is one good example. They have their size in a very particular place because the tags are always ripped off. That is like a problem one, because Randy's only seen so many Lululemons, but now that she's seen a few, she doesn't run into that issue. But like if you have 100 different items that all have little similar things, then it can be like a huge headache. And it also, it's way harder on your brain. Like Randy can kind of like listen to music, zone out, do her job, and do it just as well as she would if she was like hyper focused, because it's not that difficult. It's the same. But if you got to really focus in, you need a higher level employee for sure. So we've got Yosef. So what made you go from everything to just clothes, and how long did it take you to learn clothes and sell both men and women? So I only sell men's clothes. I sold women's at a point of time. I was doing women's jeans and women's shoes. It took a while, and trust me, I'm still learning. I'm not the best clothing seller in the game. I understand it, but no, it's mainly acquiring inventory is what everything is about in this game. Like the act of photos and listing it at the right price, or a price that's like profitable enough, that's not very difficult. The difficult part is acquiring the inventory quickly and cheap, so that you can make more money. And that's where a lot of the time needs to be spent. And then I'm just, I'm creating content. I'm kind of getting away from like building eBay, because I don't want to build eBay past the store level I have. But dude, it took like, it's been taking years to get into it. But it probably took like a full year and a half to be 100% close. Probably about a year and a half. Because it is tempting. I mean, I picked up a camera, so am I 100% close right now? No, I sold 2 cameras in the last month for pretty good money. So, Blood Sweat, Leroy says, problem is they don't realize how much money we spend on shipping supplies a year. About niche sellers versus everything sellers. Yeah, I mean, shipping supplies is a big expense. That's a good thing. Everything I have is with the GyroPack poly bags, pretty much, in the USPS flat rate envelopes. But yeah, I don't use bubble wrap as a clothing seller. And then the other thing is, like, you guys got to remember, I mean, I spent $50K on shipping labels last year. Like that $50K at 1.5%, which will now is 3% this year because I got a better credit card. Like that's a pretty good chunk of money that I can use, or take trips and stuff. And that's another thing I really enjoy about like pushing volume and having like a lot of money in and out. Like the profit, yeah, it's 60K, 65, 70 is the range for this year. Like hopefully towards like 65, 70. But I got to pay my employee, a decent amount, not like a huge amount, but a decent amount. And it's fine, but I've also built another business. Like I built the content up and I'm making money on that. So that actually offsets like the employee wages. And then the store is the X factor. Having the store and having items come to you, I mean, it's crazy. And it's probably going to be a pretty good thing. It's just going to take some time because I'm not really marketing it all that much because, I don't know. I'm kind of just like, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm like raising my son, he takes a lot of time and attention. So things are going well. This is Roan. Roan is a really good brand. This is the athletic shorts and it's a size small. It sold for 16 plus 9, so $25 on the Roan shorts. Hippie Spinach says, bummer, gotta dig deeper. Thanks for your feedback. Yeah, there are ways to get out of paying full price retail at Goodwill. Like there are definitely other sources. You just have to find it, and you may have to drive to it. It may be 2 hours away. All right, let me pack this up. Yosef says, how can you do videos? Oh, can you do videos on Randy and her job so I can see how she knows what to clean her job? That's good to go with good views with Day in the Life with Randy because I'm doing this all on my own. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose I could maybe do that. I mean, She doesn't really mind being on camera, but it's like, it's as simple as this. You can look at my photos for my shirts, like the long sleeve, short sleeve, whatever. Just like copy that photo pattern, write it down if you have to on a list next to your photo station, and then have a pile of shirts, and then grab the shirt and do that list of photos and set it in a bag with the label, the SKU, and just do that 100 times a day. That's what Randy's job is when she's not shipping. I mean, she helps me ship, and we like kind of like, you know, talk and hang out. But like, yeah, that's pretty much her job. Last page looker says, how many of the black ringers have you sold? Unfortunately, I've only sold one. It was for $25, but I think I made a mistake. Those are the polyester cotton ones and not like the thicker cotton ones. And the ones that I bought with the red and teal were the thicker cottons, and those have been selling quite a bit for like $28. These might be a problem. It honestly might be a problem. I'm lucky that I have the storage. I'm not too worried about it. But yeah, I think the mediums I definitely overbought. I should have bought like 20 instead of 70. And then I bought 20 more XLs the other day, but those were even cheaper. So yeah, not good. I may try to sell them at a yard sale. If I have a yard sale, I may pull a bunch of them and try to sell them. Because yeah, it was a bad buy. Lesson learned though, right? PMP says, in the military, I got my pull-ups from 7 to 24. I found overloading and drop setting using weight belts works really good. Forearm strength is very important. Yeah, I think pull-ups is one of those you just do more pull-ups to get the numbers up. But yeah, and you gotta work your other muscles too. But I make sure like chin to chest and then like over the chin. Like I don't raise my chin like as much as I can. That's how I like to do them. Cool. We got 57 people, 26 likes. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. People coming in, hanging out. I'll take another drink though, dude. Tim says, speaking of Goodwill computers, I went to one of my honey hole. I thought you were going to say like holy cities. One of my honey hole cities last year. They had a new system that were jacked up. Every manager let me out with a mass discount, paid $900 for $3,600 in clothing. Dude, you're like a huge supporter of that Goodwill. That's interesting. You're talking about like that they had a jacked up discount system, or like they just like priced them wrong or something. No, I talked to them. They had 2 gig of RAM in their computers. I was like, are you kidding me? 2 gig of RAM is horrible. So here's a Vineyard Vines. It's it's kind of like that red, like pink, almost like a coral. It's sold for $23, and it's gonna go in a whatchamacallit, flat rate envelope. Ellen Speed, I like it. I like the speed. You must be pretty fast. Do you think that used clothing sales? Do you think used clothing sells for Christmas? Do people actually buy used clothing for gifts? I sell used clothing hoping for a good fourth quarter. I think clothing's pretty like consistent throughout the year. The only times I saw where clothing didn't do well was during like the Super Bowl, during like certain like Valentine's Day, certain holidays didn't do well. Other than that, to me it's one of the most consistent ones. There's not going to be any huge spikes. Like you may get an overall boost a little bit in fourth quarter just because sales increase, but it's more like that's just because sales kind of increase. It's not like toys where you get like a massive skyrocketed increase. Like you're not going to see that in clothes, I don't think. Scotty Gotti says, I'm overwhelmed. Let's kind of reel that in. What do you mean, man? Why are you overwhelmed? Oh, did I not? I didn't even I didn't even put the label on it. Ugh. I just tossed it to the side with no label. Like, what? Dude, I'm like pumped to work out though. I should have done it earlier, but I was pretty tired. I did a lot of driving yesterday. Bluntsy. It's a funny name. Switching my store from everything to only clothing helped my store tremendously. Probably would never go back to an anything seller. Clothing is just so much easier. Yeah, I mean, I agree. First off, I do agree. But, I mean, it is nice, like, I just hate, like, I miss garage sales. I used to go to garage sales all the time, but when you're a clothing seller going to garage sales, I mean, it kind of sucks. There's only a few times I've hit, like, real big at a garage sale. A lot of times, I just want to look at the fun stuff, man. That's what makes better, it makes better content. I usually end up buying stuff for my son that he doesn't even need yet because he's years from, like, using it, but you can find good, like, sports equipment. I found a Margaritaville margarita machine. The ones at Kohl's are like $300 brand new. I found it for $60. Actually, like, negotiated with her to get it down. But yeah, I do miss that. But you know, you say clothing's easy, but yeah, when you spend like most of your time working at something, it's going to be easy. So other people may be like, well, clothing's hard, or that it's all loose and falls down, and it's much easier just to list like a Funko Pop or something. But at the end of the day, like, when you're good at something, like, you're just good at it. So yeah, it's gonna come easy. It's easier to accelerate on, like, being good at something if it's the same rather than if it's different every time. So we have a Denim and Supply Ralph Lauren. Denim and Supply Ralph Lauren's pretty good. This one sold for $18 plus shipping. It's a long sleeve Henley with some stripes. So this one sold for $27. I like it, man. I like it a lot. Austin Harmon. Just been listening whilst watching. Wanted to say thank you again, Sean, for your content and your contributions to this community. Been doing this since early July, and sales are starting to get consistent. Content from you and other resellers has been essential to me. Well, hey, Austin, man, that's great, dude. You're learning, man. I appreciate you saying that. You know, I learned from watching people as well. They were really good and just kind of like untouchable, it seemed like, you know, like I'm talking like Rowdy Roots in the heights of his like content creation, and you had like Cincinnati Picker and some of these people, and then one person I kind of fell to was Lotta Josh. I think I started watching him, and he had like a few thousand. I was kind of just watching him grow on YouTube, and I was like, dude, this guy's getting after it, and I really liked that. And he actually emailed me back one time, which I thought was cool. But it was, maybe I wasn't like very YouTube savvy. I mean, I started YouTube, but like I don't know if people were running as many lives back then where you could kind of interact one-on-one. So I do think it's pretty valuable. It doesn't, they say it hurts the channel because YouTube tries to allocate viewers that watch like 10-minute videos to channels that put out 10-minute videos. So if I put out 10-minute videos, but then I have hour, 2-hour lives, that feed will like get to those viewers that don't want to watch an hour. So it kind of messes up your channel, but I think it's super valuable. I'm kind of modeling my YouTube channel off the Nurse Flipper. She runs a live once a week, but it's more of like a talk show type thing. And then she does 2 videos a week. So that's a pretty good schedule to be on, and that's what I'm trying to do too. So just trying to like share a little bit of what I know, because, you know, I'm not like the best seller. I don't make the most money, but I do make, you know, a living off of it, and I think that's kind of a little different than some people. So yeah, man, really good, really kind words, man. I ran into a YouTube viewer. His name's Sean. It was in Louisville, and he was like, yo, what's up, man? I thought I'd see you eventually. And I was like, how's it going? And I think he was a few months in trying to, you know, build up his store and stuff, and he's working 12 hours full-time, and full-time job, and then he's doing reselling when he can. So he's really getting after it, and that's what it takes to get caught up and to try to make it happen. You know, it takes a lot of work. But that was really cool. It's really nice when I see people out in the wild. It's a unique feeling, you know. So this one, I think, hang on. Oh, here we go. I thought I grabbed the wrong one. This is actually one of the vintage Ralph Lauren chinos. That thing, and then that. I think it's vintage. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I put it as vintage, but this was orange. Any like the really bright colored stuff for Ralph Lauren chinos do a little bit better than like the beiges, but it sold for $14.43 plus $8.99, so pretty solid. Man, there was a time where I bought all of them because I found a bunch of them for $2.50, $3, and I went like super heavy into Ralph Lauren chinos, and I learned a lot about sizing and styles and which ones were selling, which ones weren't, and now I can kind of just look and I'm like, yeah, that one's gonna sell, that one's not gonna sell. The pleated stuff doesn't sell that much. It's not really in style. That 6-inch one is like that frat boy type style. You know. I was just like tasting the Dr. Pepper. You ever drink something and you don't even like taste it, and then some things you like savor it in your mouth a little bit, like wine. Anyway, I was tasting it, and I was remembering that commercial of the Dr. Pepper, and it's that guy that's got like the Jerry curls, and he's like miniature. His name's Little Sweet, and he's like, "It's the sweet one." I just thought of it like rolling in my head as I drank it because I was like, that's pretty sweet. Dr. Pepper, dude. Are your Goodwill prices going up? They are here in California. Yeah, it went up from $3.99 to $4.99 to now $5.99. And trust me, we don't have stores like rich cities have. We have like a lot of Kohl's, and it's embarrassing, honestly. I may not even go to my own Goodwill anymore. I think they're now one of my like not even mid-tier stores. They're like one of my lower end stores. I think I'm gonna acquire stuff in my town and get more money off of that than than Goodwill. So. I'm really upset with Goodwill in my town. They just suck, man. It's like chaotic. The workers hate being there. They're not getting paid anything. They're all in bad moods. The inventory is all sloppy. It's just bad, man. It's very bad. Okay, let's get the next one, man. Let's get the next one. We've got, nope, that one's been delivered. Here is what is this, Ralph Lauren? Yeah, this is a quarter zip. So somebody was trying to negotiate prices on buying like 8 Ralph Lauren quarter zips. And I have them priced pretty fair. Like this one sold for $21, which is pretty good on just like a common quarter zip. But I wouldn't buy those pullovers unless you're paying like $3.50 or less. They're just not that great. Anyway, he was negotiating with me, and after we came to an agreement on it, he asked to throw in one more for the same price. And I was like, I just blocked him. I just blocked him off of eBay before any offers came in. And he's like, hey man, what happened with the listings? I'm like, dude, you're not buying from me anymore. I already spent like a few minutes trying to tell you what I would accept, the lower offer. He wanted to pay I don't know. It was 7 of them for $100, and then he was like, "How about 8 for $100?" After we'd already agreed, and I'm just like, "No, dude, I was already giving you a pretty good deal." So I just blocked the dude, man, because it kind of just eliminates him from my headspace. Just ain't deal with you, dude. I'd rather not sell him than to sell him with someone like that. Tim says, I had too much stuff at each store. The computer kept timing out and the lines just got massive with, I think, and I hit 9 stores. Oh, I see what you're saying. So they were just screw it, just take it. Yeah, I've had a similar experience at my Goodwill. The computers crashed. They just didn't work. So what they did was they said all clothing is $1. And I think I had 13 items. So I bought that for 13, went and put it in my cart, and I went back and I grabbed 20 something more items because it was only $1. So that was cool, but yeah, I hear they get under a lot of pressure when a lot of people are there, and they make all their monies on mainly Saturdays. So, Elaine Cortez Ivy says, "Do you work 7 days a week, and how do you allow for vacations?" Yeah, I work every day. I don't work as much on the weekends. Yesterday, I didn't work at all, other than launching my listings, because I do keep a day of work ahead for drafts. 30 items are listed and ready to go, so I run that and I send offers and things like that, run some discounts, and I work every day, and part of that is because it doesn't feel like a 9 to 5, right? You're not going in and clocking in, you're just, all right, I'm gonna work for 2 hours, and then that 2 hours, if you're hyper focused, you can get a lot of work done. And then it comes back to before Ford came out with his vehicle, the Model A, but people worked every day, all the time. Where did it come into where you can only work 5 days a week and you got to take 2 full days off? To me, it's insane. It just is insane. Once you get into this lifestyle of you dictate how much work you do and how much money you're making and stuff, I could work every day, all day, and then have like, well, okay, I'm not going to do that because I wouldn't do that now that I have a son. But like my wife needs a certain amount of attention for sure. Like my son needs a lot of attention. So here's kind of like the layout of my typical day on like a Monday through Friday is going to be wake up at 6:15. And then if my son wakes up early, I help him until 7:45 when my wife leaves. I pretty much am there just for him. I try to do some of my stuff in the morning, but it's mainly him. And then 7:45 until pretty much 5:30, 5:45, whenever they're back from work and daycare. Then I'm full on like dad mode until about 8:30. And then from 8:30, I work until 10:30, so another 2 hours. And that's pretty much my day. On Wednesdays when I source all day in Dallas, I'm gone the entire day. I don't even get to see my son except in the morning, so that day hurts, and I'm trying to work out of that schedule. And I think I figured it out. I just need to do a few more like connections with people, and I'll be there. But yeah, so when it comes to Saturday though, say like today, I worked probably for like an hour while my son was napping, right? Like we did the morning thing, we hung out, we played, he napped for an hour. Or hour and a half, and then I worked, and then I got ready for the live. My wife knows that on Sundays I block out this live for you guys and to do some of my shipping, and then after this, I'll see what my son's up to, hang out with him, see what my wife's doing. Now, when it comes to vacations, we are planning a trip, probably to Hawaii to see my brother, and then I want to make a Grand Canyon trip, a road trip, but I don't know how my son can handle the road. But what you do in that situation is you either front load a bunch of work so that you can send listings out, or you just completely shut it off. You make the money you can make, you shut it off, you deal with eBay when it comes back, you just turn the lights off. And if you got enough money stacked up, then yeah, you can do that, and it's no big deal. If I have a sick day and I don't feel like working, like right now I could call Randy, hey Randy, I need you to ship all my items and then go home. Like I don't need you to work, I don't want you to get sick, but like can you please ship for me? Or I just ship my items and then I just go back to sleep, or I go to the doctor. And that you can do that. I mean, yeah, you'll make less money that day because you don't put out the work. But that's one of the benefits. You don't have you don't come back with a mountain of work. Like you don't have a boss yelling at you like, why are you sick? We need you for quarterly reports or some crap like that. Like the benefit of being your own boss is massive. The stress is definitely there. When you don't have things figured out and you're not making enough money and you're working for yourself, the stress is there. When you finally start creeping to the point where your bills aren't an issue as much, you don't got to worry about a lot of stuff. Like, the money's coming there because you know where the clothes are at. The sales coming. Like, you're okay with the margins. Everything gets a little easier. And then you just build another way to make money. Or you hire help to buy your time back. And then you have more time. But, yeah, it's a crazy different mindset that I wish they would teach in school. But they don't. They kind of just teach you to shut up and color, make good grades, and then pay $500,000 for a degree, and then go work 14-hour days, 12-hour days, and so it's crazy, man. It's a crazy thing. There's just so many ways to facilitate your life, right? And yeah, you gotta value what you value, and you gotta do those things to keep everything stable. But at the same time, like, you can just do whatever you want to. But yeah, I work every day of the week for sure, a little bit every day. All right, that was a lot of talking though. It's a good topic though. It's definitely a video worthy topic. Like, to make a video about it, I'm trying to get better at editing and making them more fun. So, like, there's all these sound effects you can download from YouTube and put them in the video. So like my next video has like some sound effects. So I want to do some of that. All right. I should have got a glass of water though. This is a Marmot short sleeve button shirt. This one sold for $23.50. Really good brand, Marmot. Let's see. Austin says, also, I just had kind of an interesting thing happen overnight. An item sold, but the item is awaiting payment. I got an error with the order saying that the user no longer registered. He was not a registered user, so do I just relist the item? I would hold off. I've never had that happen, but I would just wait. And you can have a thing set up where after 4 days, eBay automatically relists items that weren't paid, and that's what I do. So I'd never be too quick to do anything on eBay when it comes to that type of stuff, because you can't really go back once you do it. So I would err on the side of, like, just wait it out. PMP Sean says, do you ever schedule listings to make sure you upload every day? No, I don't. The only way I wouldn't upload is like if the internet was down. But if it was, I would just go somewhere where there was internet and just upload there. Now, there are days where I don't have like the amount that I'd like to have, where I'd only have like 15 or 20. There are days that happens, yeah. But not, I mean, it's like my routine, like brushing your teeth or like eating or going to the bathroom, like uploading, like, you know, like launching drafts. That's like part of my life. So that is how the money is made. Here's an Under Armour short sleeve button shirt. This one sold for $19 shipped. And we got the Royal Blue Gyro Pack bags. I love this company, dude. Like, it's so neat. I mean, you use white bags forever and ever and ever, and then now there's a company that's like, hey, we want you to talk about our bags and we'll give some to you. And there are all these different colors. I'm like, dude, sweet. Excuse me. Of course I'll use them, dude. Shoe Shop Merchant says, yo, what's up, man? David, how's it going, dude? Jack says, LMAF. I almost said LAF. What is it called? LMAFO. LAMO says, great time to come in. Come on in, man. It's always a good time. Like, the water's fine, right? Just hop on in. I am watching the CrossFit games while I'm doing listings. Because, like, so one thing I like to do on the weekends, like, as, like, work, I don't really source anymore on the weekends. Although, when it cools off, if there are some garage sales, like that fall time garage sales, I do want to go with my son and my wife to those because they are fun. But I don't source much on Saturdays and Sundays. I don't even prep items because I have Randy now, and I don't do photos because of Randy. So I pretty much just do my listings. Like, I watch TV and do listings, and usually I do that at night from 8 to 10:30, pretty much 8:30, 10:30, or 8:30, 11. I just do listings, and the rest of the time I'm doing like house stuff. You know, I still have all those chores that need to be done, and just projects, little mini projects, things, you know, honeydews like my wife asked me to do. So yeah, that's kind of how I spend a lot of my weekends. And then football season's coming up, so I'm just gonna like drink beer with my dad and grandpa and go eat some good food at my parents' house because they live in the same neighborhood. Wrestling Fig says, watching from Wisconsin. Wife just started part-time at Goodwill, so I have a connection. Laugh loud. I sell everything. Started 3 months ago and made $7K. Dude, careful, dude. Careful, because if they see your wife doing some back alley deals, dude, she's going to lose her job because they turn people over really quick. But that is really neat. It's an interesting thing. I'm interested to hear how that goes. So we've got, this is one of the Wrangler teal ones. So I went heavy on these too, but these are the thicker ones, not brush popper, at least not the vintage one, unless they're modern brush poppers, which that's a good question. I don't know if they are. Anyway, those are selling quite a bit. They're selling for like $27, but the black ones I picked up for like, what was it, $3, $2.50? I've only sold one, so I really need to get that going. And I always got to check here because sometimes the UPS ground or priority is cheaper than the flat rate mailer. It's like, you know, sometimes it's 40 cents cheaper. So let's see. Jack says give them jobs. Who are you talking about? Wrestling Fig says the Goodwill by me are good. I live in a wealthy area and there are a bunch of Goodwills. Dude, that's cool. I would try to tap into that wealth before it hits Goodwill though, because then it'll be even better. Figure out how you can do that. Fireball Flipper says hey with an exclamation point. And let's print the label. Jack says, had a guy buy a record yesterday after 6 p.m. Messaged me today and said, cancel because it hasn't shipped. WTF. I thought it's Sunday, dummy. Refunded the bloke and reported. Oh, you reported him? Yeah. I don't know if I've reported a buyer before. It's a good idea. Beatrice says, I can't drink nothing diet. What about Coke Zeros? Are Zeros considered diets? Yeah, they do kind of suck, I'll admit. I'm trying not to drink, because like the good stuff, I'll drink like, I used to drink 4 Mountain Dews a day just because of how good they were. And I don't want to be that guy anymore. It's like sludge for your body. Jack says, I work for myself, so it's not really work, it's just life. Exactly, Jack. It's like, I'm just living, right? This is just like what I do. It's who I am. That is exactly right, dude. It's just life, right? Yeah. Figs is talking to Austin, says it's probably because they're accepted an offer that they never paid. And then it says item sold, but they never paid. Happened to me. Just list it again. Okay. Jack says, I can't believe you're paying for childcare. You should hang with the boy. Dude, there is no way I'd be able to hang out with my son and do my job. And there's... Nah, dude. I don't know how people do it. I mean... I wouldn't really be able to do anything. Because right now, like he eats, plays, and sleeps, right? And yeah, it would be tough. But no, yeah, we pay for daycare. I also think daycare is important because it exposes them to other people than just me, right? Or like say just like if I had the grandparents watch them, which they probably wouldn't. But like not all day. I think it's good for them to be around other kids. They hear other sounds. They hear kids learning to talk to. Like, there's a lot of benefit, I think, to socializing and stuff like that. So, I do not fall into the camp of, like, a full-time nanny watching them the whole time. Like, it would be cool to have, like, a maid, though. I would like to have one of those. So I get tired of doing chores, man. Fireball Flipper says socialization is important for kids, though. Agreed. Jack says, I'm fixing to set up a closed picture taking spot. Want to get a pile of heavy, cold weather crap I want to list and a pile of shirts. Yeah, it's good. Get the jackets going because it's going to start cooling off, hopefully, man. It's like another planet here in Texas, dude. It's like 112 degrees. Like, insane, dude. Insane. 45 viewers, 37 likes. Really cool. Really appreciate it. We're getting to the end. Well, I say the end. We got like a ways to go. Jack says, for sure, but right now, not so much. He's just an itty bitty baby. I don't know, dude. He's kind of like a little man. I mean, he's got some attitude sometimes, and he's getting stronger. But yeah. My wife, she gets really upset because there's this lady that is kind of slobby at the daycare. She's got her kid there and stuff, but like she calls my son Fat Man is what she calls him. He's 21 and a half pounds at 9 months, but she calls him Fat Man, and my wife does not like it. She's just like, oh, okay. Oh, I see. You're talking about bitty babies aren't very social. My oldest. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's kind of learning the wave and stuff. Preschool at 3. Yeah, I don't know. It's cheaper to send him and pay than it is to keep him because I know I would make less money. I just wouldn't work as much. So, Beatrice says it's your brother. Okay, what's happening with Hawaii? Oh, so he's a captain in the Air Force. He's a logistics officer, and he just got stationed to Hawaii, so his family's there. So we're thinking of doing 4th of July in Hawaii this year. And I'm thinking about, like, doing some videos and stuff, and I'm actually really excited about it. I kind of want to contact some places, whether it's, like a thrift store or just, like, a hotel and say, like, hey, I've got this YouTube channel. Like, can I make some content around your thing and try to get, like, some discounts or something? I don't know if that'd work at a thrift store, but, like, who knows? It's one of the powers of content that you can kind of, like, work deals like that, and people will be like, yeah, sure, dude, we'll do it for a video. That'd be kind of cool. Okay, let's keep going. I don't want to get too far behind. But, yeah, I've never been to Hawaii, so. I heard one of the islands just caught on fire, though, so that's not good. It's not his island, but it's another one. This is a pair of cinch jeans. These are the Green Label. The Green Label cinch jeans are one of their slower movers. Hello, there he is.
Say we're ready to go to Hawaii.
This is Seth and my wife Stephanie. Say hi.
Hi.
Anyway, he does. He's got his lei on. He's got his nice Hawaiian shirt.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Are you going to your grandpa?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll see you later.
Have a good one.
Bye.
See you, bud. And Ragnar's in his room. Anytime Ragnar can like go into my son's room, he tries to go in. Ragnar's my dog. But yeah, it's my wife and son. So they're going to their grandpa's. They usually go to their grandpa's when I'm running this so that I can work. So yeah. Austin says to Figs, they're talking about the issue with that buyer and stuff. So yeah. Thrifting in Hawaii, yeah, it's probably going to be super expensive. Fireball Flipper says he doesn't look like a fat man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the lady her deal is, but my wife said that like when she was holding her baby at like 3-4 months, the baby's neck was like all flapping around, and she wasn't even like holding her baby's head. And I was just like, she's just kind of one of those slobby people. It's really sad. I really feel for like I'm trying to do like the most I can to make sure my son is set up as far as like I try to read to him, I try to play with him. I definitely talk to him in the front yard on the bench. I usually tell him in the mornings, like I say, hey, this is the part of the day where you go outside and you kind of like assess your day. It's almost like a meditation of a way, but you like kind of just think and talk out. And I say, look at the grass, look at the birds, look at the sky. Try to like visualize what you want your day to be. And I was like, and it looks like it's going to be like a really hot day. So I always do that with them in the morning. But what I'm getting at is people that like don't care about themselves and don't try very hard for their kids, like they're at such a disadvantage. And then they're the kids that usually get picked on at school and get bullied and end up doing things and getting in trouble. And it's like, well, yeah, dude, how can you expect somebody to have everything or all the support and then expect somebody with nothing to compete the same? And they're like, well, why aren't you doing the right thing and doing this? Like, it's like, dude, they never had a shot. They never had a shot. And people are like, they need to just figure it out. It's like, no, dude, they get groomed and like they just grow up in a way that sucks. So I'm trying to not do that for him. And I hate when people like think, oh, why is that dude, doing things like that? It's like, dude, they never had a shot. I mean, it just really comes down to it, so. Anyway, Widow Wendy says, once Costco puts out coats, time to list winter items. Oh, so you go off of Costco. You go off of what Costco does with their seasonal changing, like seasonal items. Yeah. I kind of just list them whenever. That's kind of what to do, though. Fireball Flipper says he doesn't look fat. Yeah, chubby babies are so cute, though. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think he's going to be, like, I'm pretty, like, slender. Like, I'm a pretty slender build. Like, my wife's, she's not as slender. And right now she's not, but she knows. And it's like, she has more dense bones than me, though, too. And it's kind of like, their roots are more like the northern type people, and then mine are like Panamanian. So it's like a different blend. So like I'm very curious to see like how tall he's gonna be, where his like if you ever look at people like especially like bodybuilders, right? Not like he's gonna be a bodybuilder, but like you can see some people's trunks are long, some people's trunks are short, some people have like thicker like legs, and some people have smaller frames, like shoulder width. Like my shoulders are like, for as small as I am, it's actually a decent width. They're just small right now because I'm not very strong. But I'm very interested to see like if he takes more of my complexion, or like I think he's gonna be a little more like my complexion than my wife's. And like what color is his hair and like his eyes. Like there's so many things that I'm very excited about like making a kid, So I really hope he's into sports. Like I want him to be a football player, a baseball player. For sure, is what I want. So. But yeah, pair of Cinch jeans. Cinch, green labels, not good. The white labels, the Cinch Star, the Cinch Black labels, those are good ones. These ones kind of sucked. They sold for 20 shipped. Not good. But I didn't pay much for them. So here's that one shirt. This is the Ralph Lauren cardigan. So the thing with the cardigan is I paid $5 because a guy brought it in, and it sold for $47.49 plus $8.99 shipping. This is under a pound too. Fireball Flipper says, my oldest kid is built just like me, and my youngest is built like his dad. It's crazy how we got one that looks like one of each of us. Yeah, my brother definitely takes after my dad more, and then I take after my mom more, for sure. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And yeah, my wife was, her dad was adopted, so we want to do the DNA test thing to see like more of his lineage. But he's like 6'4", I think, 6'3" or 6'4". So my son has a chance to be pretty tall. Should be cool, but I don't think he's gonna be very tall. I mean, let's hope he's tall, because taller people actually like make more money on average, and better looking people make more money on average, which is interesting how that shakes out. Tim says, any thoughts on hourly rates for your employee who can prep, take photos, and put away inventory? Yeah, I don't really talk about like my employees' hourly rate, but it's got to be, it's got to kind of be on par with what the town provides for like, you know, like a entry level position, pretty much. Not like, and it depends how many tasks. Like Randy is getting a raise, like she'll be getting a raise and stuff. So I don't know. You kind of got to gauge it off of like, if you want to have like a low paid employee, you're going to get a lower like effort person. Let's just put it that way. The more you pay, like you can usually get access to somebody who is got their stuff a little more together. And then it depends on like how many hours they need versus like they don't need the job much. Like that can play a bit of a factor, and also like how you are as like a person too, right? So there's a lot of factors. I can tell you, whenever I had the bar set pretty low and I did interviews, I got a lot of people that I know I wouldn't be able to stand just being in the same room. So yeah, it's a tough thing, dude. It is a tough thing. This is an American Giant hoodie. American Giant is super basic looking, and that one sold for $35 plus shipping, I think. Let's see. Yeah, American Giant. And I had just heard about this from a friend of mine, Brian Roning. He's a reseller, and he's putting out a lot of Instagram shorts lately. But American Giant, he's like, yeah, dude, it's super plain and basic, but like it's a good seller. And this one absolutely was a good seller. Heck yeah, dude. But yeah, I don't know, man. I think, okay, to be honest, if you want someone to do photos and prep, I would look at like a high school senior. That's who I would look for, because they're not gonna need like a lot of hours, but they're just gonna need some like money to go on the weekends and like hang out and stuff. So if you can find one of them, I think that would be pretty strong too. It's just then you got to deal with like such a younger person, right? That may not be as strong or as disciplined, or maybe like, oh, I'm sick, when they're just like hanging out or not wanting to come into work. But yeah, I got really lucky finding Randy, for sure. All right, here's like a little chambray shirt. This one is Five Brothers. Now, Five Brothers has a lot of flannels and stuff, but this chambray one was a 2XL. Sold for 15 plus shipping, so $24 on the chambray. Pretty solid there. I like chambray, and like a lot of brands do decent. $12 ounces. But yeah, I don't know. Do you guys watch CrossFit games though? Is anybody out there CrossFitters? I love watching it, man. They're like the best exercisers in the world. I heard that from have you watched Eastbound and Down? Eastbound and Down with Kenny Powers. It's like his ex-wife's new boyfriend or something. He's like doing jumping jacks in the yard because he's doing a triathlon or something. And Kenny Powers like, what's a triathlon? Like the best exercisers in the world. But yeah. God, the show kills me though. It really does. So another thing that's important to note, like this camera, right? So this is the Nikon camera, and then this is a bag that had the instructions, and then I had to buy the batteries. So the batteries, like, it didn't have a battery charger. It had a battery. It did have a SD card in it with the micro SD. So what I wanted to say was, first off, it's got all this, right? And I looked at the photos, and it was cool. The photos were actually a friend of mine's. You know, we're not like great friends, but we're pretty good friends. Pretty good friends. We've known each other like a really long time. And it was actually his wife's grandparents, or maybe, I don't know if it was their camera or like her wife's parents' camera, but it had a bunch of pictures of her grandpa who had passed. So I was able to take them off, and I actually have them in the SD cards. Like I transferred them to other ones. and I'm going to give them back to him. But the thing about this is, when it looks really cool. It works. It's got like a nice display. And I got to figure out how to pack it, right? So packing this is a whole thing. Like, you can't just put this in a poly bag. I don't have any 4x4 boxes. I do have bubble wrap, luckily. So I'm going to bubble wrap the crap out of it. And then I got to box like all this other stuff with it. And then I got to figure out, like, I got to get a box, either like size down, a big box, which we do have a lot of like Amazon boxes and stuff, but we usually like tear them down and throw them away. So that's going to take me probably like 10 minutes to pack, or even 15 minutes to pack. And I've been packing all these other ones, and it's taken, I don't know, we're like an hour or something. I mean, yeah, no, we definitely been packing for a while now, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like, I got to shift everything just for that. And that's what happens when you sell like other stuff that you're not used to selling. So Beatrice says, I hope your next baby is a girl. I disagree. I am hoping for another boy. I think Seth will be challenged well, I don't know. He would be challenged pretty hard with a girl, but I think if he has a younger brother, you know, I think that would be pretty valuable. So, and it'd be better because then you have two, like, people that can, like, work. Like, you know, I'm going to have to build a fence in this house eventually. So, like, it'd be better to have two sons than a son-daughter. And also, we already have a bunch of boy stuff, so we can just keep that stuff and give it to our next kid. But we're going to try next summer. Next summer, we're going to start trying again, so I'm excited. I mean, a girl would be fine, too, because I have, like, nieces, right? I have 3 nieces and 2 nephews in this town. And then I have niece and nephew up north, so... This is carbon to cobalt short sleeve crew neck, sold for $19 shipped. But yeah, I think sons are important. I mean, my dad has had a brother. I have a brother. My cousin, he has a brother. So there's a lot of brothers in our families, sets of brothers. And I can tell you, had my wife and I had a daughter first, we may not have even had another kid. It may have just been the daughter, because she really just wants a daughter. So she's definitely going to be hoping for a daughter. But the other thing is, if you have 3 boys with 1 mom, then, you know, like dad and 2 boys, like, that means you always control the TV and stuff. Like, my mom always lost votes when it came to anything. My poor mom. She learned to watch sports and stuff. David says our Goodwill is dumb. Stupid, yeah. I can't, dude. It drives me insane. Like, it really does. This shirt right here, this is actually stained right here. So this is the Polo Ralph Lauren Post Boy. It's got a banded collar. It's vintage. It had multiple stains on it, and it still sold for $30 because that one is pretty desirable. Hippie Spinach says younger sisters are cool, older sisters are nightmares. Oh boy. Okay, yeah, maybe I could see that. I just think she would be just super spoiled, man. Like, if there's a younger brother, if Seth has a younger brother, I could name him Slade. If he has a younger brother, I'm a younger brother, so, like, I'll be able to relate to him and be like, dude, it just rolls downhill. Like, you gotta pick up the slack, and I think he'll be stronger for it, rather than, you know, like a daughter. But then, I guess, I don't know, dude. My brother has 3 kids. He had a daughter, a son, and another daughter, so... But yeah, it's crazy. It's very interesting to think about. Kids are a really good thing. I think it's very important to have kids. I mean, it's kind of like the whole point, right? Like having kids. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's like nature. Is that a good word for it? Like, if nobody had kids, there'd be no more people, right? So here's a shirt. Now this one is a mistake. It's not a mistake that I bought it, but it is a mistake because I didn't ship it. Somebody got a bulk order, and I shipped them the wrong shirt. Like, I just grabbed the wrong one. It was a V-neck. This is a Lululemon V-neck. So they already paid for this, and what I have to do is actually ship it and then give them a full refund because I just completely forgot. And that's like the first time that's happened in I don't know how long, so... But it's cool. You want to make sure to do that and don't be like, oh, well, send me back that shirt. Like, it wasn't that expensive of a shirt that I sent them. So luckily I was able to just be like, you know, just keep that one. Don't worry about sending it back. And then I got you covered because they did do a multi-quantity order, which is somewhat rare. And then also they may buy again, right? Because they're happy that you did the right thing and hooked them up. So the other thing though is I got to like click into it right here. I go to eBay. Let's see. I've got like an eBay tab on my browser, bookmark tab or whatever, and I just can click into it and find it. And I have a bunch of like, I have block buyers, I have return labels, all these different things that you want one click to go to, because eBay's kind of hard to search through all of it. So I'm just gonna go to refund buyer, and I always just put other adjustment. My bad, on the mix up. So then I just click full refund or whatever. Oh, you actually got to type it in here. Usually they have like a little slider that you would type, or that a little button that would just slide over the whole thing. So let's just review refund. Make sure we get them their refund. Keenan Moore says, I see you charge around $15 for your shirts. I want to have a certain pay scale on shirts. Yeah, so let's see. 45 people watching, and these lives usually get like 1,500 to 1,800 views, maybe 2,000. I'll let you in on a little secret. Part of the reason that I have my shipping set up and pricing set up is because of the bar to the side on eBay. Like if you go to eBay as like a buyer, and you could search from like 25 and under on shirts, and then there's like 50, I think 50 and under or something. So I priced mine at the highest of that first bar, because if somebody's buying a shirt that they want, like a Ralph Lauren, they're like, well, I only want to spend 25 bucks. They click on that, it eliminates all the other shirts, right? So mine are at the highest price of that block because I want it to be in that block, but I want it to be the highest price. And then because my shirts are all laid out the same, the pricing's the same, the stores has a lot of sales, a lot of feedback, a lot of times, and I accept offers and send offers. A lot of times I capture a lot of those sales because of that pricing. You can do the same thing for jeans. You can do the same things for like other categories, but that is a little bit of the secret sauce, let's say. I think it works, and it's like, okay, so it'd be like $15.99 plus $8.99, so that's $26.9, or that's $25. Actually, is that even right? $16.9. Maybe that's $1 more. Maybe what I said was completely wrong. Let me think. 16 plus 9 is 25. Oh man, I think I had this when I did it with $7.99. I never changed it, but let's just see. $15.99 plus. Oh no, okay. $15.99 plus $8.99 is $24.98. So I am not going crazy, but I cannot do simple math. I was thinking $10. Okay, so if there's a flaw on the shirt that usually is $15.99, it goes to $12.99. If there's another flaw, it goes to $9.99. If there's 3 flaws, I usually don't list it. If it's a shirt like a t-shirt or something, it either starts at $12.99 or $9.99. And you follow the same method. So like if it's a $15.99 shirt, right, but it's a little cooler and the value's more, I bump it up to $19.99 or I bump it up to $24.99 and so on and so forth. So like having that set up for clothes, I know exactly when I'm shopping, like this is a $15.99 as low as like 17 ship. That'd be 8 plus $8.99. The very lowest, you know, unless it's lasted like 6 months, then even 5, like just to make your money back. So like when you have these ranges set up in your brain, when I list, I don't have to spend any time with pricing. Like I know right off the bat. And I err on the side of like listed a little higher, and then I just run discounts to allow for the sale to sell at the accurate market value. So with this camera though, it took me a long time to figure out how to price this camera. I like had to look at the model, I had to look at the other ones, had to look at the ones with the batteries, the condition. It took forever to list that item, but I did make more money on that than these shirts. But yeah, that is how I do it. Another advantage of knowing like the items you're selling like very well. So right here is a Vineyard Vines polo. So yeah, this is a Vineyard Vines, but it's a performance polo. So I priced it at $19.99 plus shipping. An offer of $15 came in and it sold. A lot of people like to spend $25 on shirts. Like 20 to 25 is like a good round number. Like a lot of people don't like buying on eBay. They don't feel comfortable with it. They think scams are coming. So like a $20, $25 like mark for items, they're okay doing that one time, right? It's like not a big risk if they somehow never get their money back, but that's kind of how I do it. But then you got to remember when you're paying for items, like say I paid $9 for this polo, that would not be great. But say something is truly like more expensive, like say that cardigan, the Big Pony cardigan, I would spend $12, $15 on it because I know it's going to sell for like 40 plus. But you got to remember that when you list, and you can usually just identify like, oh, this is a CC Filson, I'm not listing it for 25. Like, and then there are times that I look up for the market value in the recent solds to just make sure I'm listing at the right price. And then that goes back to when I'm shipping items like now, or when I'm pooling items, I identify the price it's sold at so that I can like accurately price these items and not overpay and overbuy when I'm at the stores. You know. Oh, okay. Here we go. So this is a Tommy Bahama. It's not the Island Zone. It's just the one that says Supima Cotton in cursive. And it's a brown shirt. It's more like it's like a light brown. So kind of like a beige. Beige and light brown like really throw me off. It sold for the same 15 plus shipping. So that means the next time I go to the store, if I see this for $5, like I'll probably pick it up. You know, $5 into, 24. That's okay. Or 23, whatever. 24. That's okay. All right. Here's a kind of cool one coming up. These are Bill's khakis. I don't know if you guys have sold Bill's khakis before, but they have like pants, they have shorts. Where's that? Where's the label? Oh, here it is, way down here. This one. So that's Bill's khakis. I've sold a lot of Bill's khakis. This person bought 2 chino shorts, same size. One's like a green and the other one's yellow. So really bright, summery colors, kind of pastelish in nature. And they bought both of them and they paid $11.19 on each. And then the shipping multiplier, or not multiplier, but like the increased shipping, they paid, it'd be $11.98 for 2 items. So they pretty much bought these 2 shorts for all-in price of $36.85. And yeah, they were cool with that. So I can fit both of them in this flat rate envelope. Just kind of squeeze them down, tuck them in, make sure they're nice and safe, send them on their ways, and we have a happy customer with 2 pairs of shorts. Really happy with that. So, but yeah, man, I don't know. I think a lot when I listen to these podcasts that I could do a podcast with some people. I just need to figure out like who I'd want to do it with, what days we would record. But I don't know. I think it's a cool thing. But maybe that's it. Maybe because it's a cool thing, maybe I shouldn't try to get into it. Maybe I should just stay in my lane, do my work like I'm doing today, talk with you guys. Oh, okay. I do want to talk about this. YouTube just sent an alert. It said now would be a good time to insert an ad. Like, no, YouTube, I'm not inserting an ad because of you. That is how you make money, people watching ads. This shirt right here is a Ralph Lauren, and it sold via promoted listings. Now, everyone was talking about promoted listings, and I commented on Daily Refinement's video whenever it said, like, your items aren't being seen or something. And I felt like, directly commented and responded to me and said, you would sell more if you promoted. And my friend Mike told me this too. So I put my entire 4,800 item store on a 2% promoted listings for like 3 days. And I had a couple sales. But the overall sales for the day weren't anywhere different than what I'm used to. And then I talked to my friend Brian, who recently got off of Promoted because of me. And he said my sales are kind of the same, even, the promotions weren't doing much. So I wonder if my type of items are just slower items. Like, it doesn't matter about promoting them. So these ones did sell, but I took them all down. So I'm not promoting anymore. I tried for 3 days. I just felt like I was doing it for the wrong reasons. I was going to just make content about running the promoted sales for a month or two and like see the data difference and make a viral video or whatever, dude. And I was like, you know what? That's dumb. Like, I shouldn't be doing that just because people are telling me to, or because like I want to make a video about it. Like, that's really not what I'm about. And I felt really kind of like silly doing it. And now like my store's kind of, or there's probably like when I was selling similar off my own items, I think I sold similar off of some that were still promoted. So like they might be like a handful of promoted listings left. But I may go back and just do like a full clean like stop promoting. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just think it's kind of dumb. Like, they're already selling at a pretty decent clip. I think I'm still over, like, my store's growing a little bit. Like, I think I list about 30 a day, and then they sell like 24 to 25 on average per day. So some days are more, some days are less, and I think that's fine. I don't think you need to have 30 up, 30 down. I don't think that's like necessary. I don't think so at all. Is it Theresa Heinrich says, it's so crazy that I actually found better deals at Ross stores in Orlando compared to our Goodwills. Yeah, Goodwills are getting crazy, and it's just like the audacity, to just price items up like that. Like, dude, who do you think you are? And people are like, oh, well, they're resellers just doing it the same. Like, no. You guys play that little announcement saying you're trying to clothe and give jobs to people. Like, get out of here, dude. I don't want to hear that crap. Yeah, and these thrift stores, like, you'll see in the video that's coming out next week, I did a mystery box type situation. Oh, man. I gotta actually destroy this bag. I can get under the 8 ounces if I take out my plastic bag. I didn't realize. You'll see my video coming out tomorrow. I'm going to list it probably in the morning, probably like a.m. before lunch. You'll see that this company is a thrift store, and they sent these boxes. They want you to buy these boxes from them. And they sent me some free ones to make a video about it. And then you guys can see how the boxes went. And I'm actually going to do a giveaway with those boxes. All you have to do is watch the video, like, comment, and then be here at the next live next Sunday. And we're going to give them away. But yeah, it's like this company is a thrift store, and they get all the donations, and then they are parting them out to like sell lots to resellers, and then they're also like have an eBay store. Like, it's just kind of, I don't know, man. It's like, I don't know. I guess it's just the way of reselling. But when you're looking at like corporations doing it as opposed to like single people doing it, like I think you guys know where I would side with, but yeah, it's just how it is. Miss Lachey says, you think for the next 30 days they'll be stuck for promoted? Maybe. Okay, I don't know if there's a way I can check. There probably is, but yeah, I don't know. And yeah, I mean, it did sell a few, so promoteds do work. I mean, I'm not saying they don't work. I just I don't think I really need them at all. I don't think it's that necessary. My stuff's selling pretty good. Cause I ran like coupons, or not coupon. Was it coupons? I think I ran buyer coupons like last year for a little bit to see how it would work, and I don't know, man. It kind of confuses the numbers that I do when I price items and stuff and accept offers. It kind of throws me off a little bit. Yes. All right. I'm getting close to the end. I didn't even talk about it. These are more Ralph Lauren's. That one went for $18. So here's another shirt. This is actually a Fabletics. Fabletics is one that I always think is like super expensive, but it's really not that great. This is a tank top though, and I pay usually $1 or $2 for tank tops. And this one sold. It's one of my older items though, so it took a while to sell. and it sold for $17.50 is what that one sold for. This Fabletics tank top, wife beater. It's not really a wife beater. It's more of a tank top. It's like a mesh tank top. I think tank tops are really good categories. They're lightweight. They're small, easy to list, and they sell for decent money. Sometimes they're kind of beat up though, but nobody really goes to them. Here's like a vintage sweatshirt. Somebody sent me an offer and they were like, "Come on, bro, this shirt is fire," or something like that, and I was like, "All right, dude, I'll accept it." I made decent money on it. So, I think it's like the independent skate brand or whatever. Independence? No, yeah, Independence, not independent. And oh no, it was Hurley International is what it was. I'm gonna put it in the large flat rate envelope because it is pretty thick. This one's gonna be kind of hard to close. I gotta squeeze the fingers here. There we go. Look at it. It'll like split right there. I always put one piece of tape over it. All right. So yeah, this one sold for 19 plus 9, so $28 on the vintage Hurley. Vintage Hurley. Okay. Kind of losing my wits, man. Actually, like it gets really hot in this room, even with the window kind of like cracked, and it's just a lot of heat. That's why I got blackout curtains in front, and yeah, it's hot, man. Texas is hot. Oh, Therese says tons of Goodwill merch is ending up at the bins because they're charging too much. That's interesting. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, and people can only buy so much stuff. So, that is that. Okay, we're going to take a little look here. Ha, 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 ha. You saw my leg, too. It's like a white thighs. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the live. I had a pretty good time. I did lose a little steam towards the end just because, I mean, it's getting hot and I'm getting tired. H is silent in my friend. Whoa. Teresa. Okay, sorry. I was calling you Teresa. Sorry about that. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. I have a video coming out tomorrow. Make sure to watch it. It's going to be a mystery box unboxing, and there is a giveaway component that you got to follow some instructions. But yeah, I think you're really going to enjoy it. I put a lot of work into it. I hope you like it. And after that, we're going to make the sourcing trip for this Wednesday. I'm going to go to Oklahoma City and show my adventures in the big city of our sister state up north. What boxes? Keenan, they're the ones. That's 5 premium mystery box or something like that, though. You'll see tomorrow. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna sign off for now, and I think I'm gonna go here and sign off. End stream on YouTube. End stream.